I kept having these wonderful thoughts, right? And then I get out here and then I kind of feel like I freeze up. But let me get into it. Husbands, fathers, men, how do you keep going when you feel like you're trying your best every single day that you wake up, for your wife, for your kids, and you keep trying to show up. And when you wake up with the mindset that I'm gonna work on me, and then you feel like it's not enough, right? So this morning, let me catch you up. This morning I made a whole video and I haven't posted it yet. And I was talking about how like I have such an amazing helper, my wife. She's a super woman. She gets everything done, stuff like that. And we went out today and we had our walk after we dropped our daughter off. And she asked, conversation is good, walk is good, we're getting out 2 miles in. And then out of nowhere, what it feels like to me is she asked me this question of, can you answer something? And I already kind of know, you kind of know as a husband by now, you know where it is going. So you kind of like, where is this going? But whatever. So, excuse the hot. I always keep my rag out here with me because it's extremely hot. But I like to do my videos outside because it helps me to stay on track, get to the point, and get back in the house. Because the longer I take out here beating around the bush, I'm gonna be hot and sweaty and whatever. So I get down here, I make this wonderful video talking, bigging up my wife, talking about how amazing she is and all these different things, right? Only for her to ask me this question while we were out. And she's like, I don't remember exactly how it went. Excuse me, wife. But it was like, can you answer something for me? And I was like, yeah, sure. What is it? She's like, why is it that when you go out or whatever, somewhere, something like that, when we end up out in public, sometimes you kind of like, you have these tantrums or something like that, some along the lines of like a tantrum, or like we get into this, like what seems to me to be simple, but we get into this, it blows up to this big old thing where she's going one way, I'm going one way, or we just taking that little time, and or we doing a silent treatment while we walk in certain throughout places, and we're not perfect, right? I know that, but it's like here I am speaking up highly of you, talking about how good, how amazing you are, all this stuff like that, and then you hit me with this, like I'm the bad person or something like that. That's how I felt. That's how I take it. But then at the same time, I quickly switch off of that, and I feel like, you know what? This is a conversation. I'm not being attacked, but in my mind, as a husband, as a man, we're called to be the leaders. We're called to be the protectors, the providers. We got to keep our cool at all times. I'm raising all girls, so like I gotta be soft. I gotta switch it off and be disciplinary at times. Like I'm wearing a lot of hats, and sometimes I don't think so. But as I'm telling you this, I hear it. It's like this list and list of things. Not saying discrediting my wife on what she does, but it's like you could feel like I'm trying, and I wake up with the mindset every day that I'm trying. I'm giving it my all. Like today, what can I get better at doing? And I already understand because I was reading scriptures and stuff, and like we're not perfect people. God is not calling us to be perfect. He just wants us to be obedient, show up with an obedient heart, a helpful heart, and stuff like that. So when so I already know that about myself. So now I kind of it took some weight off my shoulders of not trying to show up and be perfect every time. I'm not gonna get it right all the time, every single time. But why I share these messages now is to like help other fellas, help other men out there who may be feeling the same way, because more than likely, someone out there feeling the same way you feeling. Whether they say, "Oh, you being soft, suck it up," blah, blah. We hear enough of that. We've been sucking it up. That's why we having so much mental health in this world right now, because so many people just keeping it in, bottling it in. And some stuff I tend to bottle in. And some stuff that I tend to be like, you know what, I'm not even gonna talk about that or bring that up or even address it with my wife because it might lead to something down the road. And I feel like the day is already going good. So why mess that up? But our goal is to work on being able to communicate better, which we have gotten so much better. I put that we gotten so much better because we had to go through those. I don't want to mess up the day. I don't want to this, but it's bothering me so much that I have to speak about it. And when I speak about it, sometimes it goes thing, but we have gotten so much better to the point that it flows better. So what I'm saying is, when that happened today, made the video, bigged up, and then I feel like that came up and it's like you're not doing enough, or look at this other flaw about you that you need to now work on. That's how I see it in my head. And it's like, I have to tell myself, I'm not being attacked. We're on the same team. But at the same time, as I just did that video, why it seems like that. And it's happened a couple times now, like where every time I feel like I'm like, yeah, and wow, my wife and this and that, and then something like this happens like immediately after. And and I told her, I was like, I feel like you just want to give up and just be like, you know what? Well, why even try? I'm gonna keep on trying for you to just keep pointing out more flaws. So I asked her, I was like, so I'm not gonna say, let me point out the flaws about you. I'm gonna say, what do you think you have to work on? Because a lot of times we get so comfortable pointing out someone else's flaws, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's family members, friends, stuff like that. We always see the flaws in them and saying, "Oh, you got to get better at doing this. You got to get better at doing that." And we're always pointing like this. But I like how they said it. You're pointing like one finger pointing to them, and how many fingers are pointing back to you? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, how? What do you think you would need to work on? Well, you see, I probably need to work on and this and that. She does. She's like, I don't know. It's kind of like off guard. I got to think about it. So she's like, what about you? I was like, well, for me, I know I got to work on being a better morning person when I wake up. I can get better at that because sometimes I be feeling like I'm faking the funk. When I wake up, although I follow Christ and He's in the center of everything I have going on, that I ask Him to work on and help me so many times. But I just keep waking up. I feel good. I feel this. But then once I get the day going, is like I just start feeling that shift. But I snap out of it because it's a choice. I could go down that road and say that's just me. I'm not a morning person. I'm not claiming that. I believe I could work on it and get better at that. And I ask the Lord each and every day to show me, help me, guide me. I don't have it all together, and that's how I feel like a lot of us should show up. We don't have it all together. So have a little more grace for someone else who's trying because you don't know if they're trying. And I told her, I was like, I'm trying. I'm doing my best every day. I'm not waking up saying, oh, I'm perfect. I got it by now. No, I'm waking up like, what can I do better? How can I respond better to my kids? How can I respond better to you? When I text, I'm wondering, like, yeah, I'm here, instead of saying, yes, babe, I'm here. Like, I want to just be like, yeah, I'm here. But it's like, no, don't do that. Yes, babe. And I'll delete the text and rewrite it just so it could sound a little more softer. When I respond, I'm like, how did I respond? That sounds a little harsh. Like, although I'm a man, I respond a little hard. Let me go back and say, no, my love, this and that, no kids, da da da. And man, as men, I feel like we are called to be so hard and we got to be tough and we got to suck it up and we can't show our emotions. I think we're past that time now. I think it's time for us to express ourselves, get on here. This is like journaling. And you don't understand let's talk about it. Talk about how you feel. Put out what you would like for in your relationship to be better. And I feel like a lot of our relationships will be so much better. We won't have so much of the divorce rates will go down. We'll learn to stick it out. We won't just exit because if one side wants to work and the next side doesn't want to work or they feel themselves as being perfect, there's only so much of that you could take. And then you'd be like, you know what? I'm throwing in the towel. And you're like, I'm done, whatever. Because none of us are perfect. And once we get that on the table, that none of us are perfect, we will be able to see people in the light that the Lord see us in and understand that although some stuff about you irritate me or it bothers me, I too, what can I work on to get better? Like, for instance, I wanted to go start getting healthier and stuff like that. I'm not gonna keep telling you, let's go walk, let's go walk. I'm gonna start walking. I'm gonna just wake up early in the morning when you ain't see me, I'm walking. I'm gonna start eating healthier. When you say, oh, let's go pick up let's get some donuts. No, I'm okay. I'll go home and cook. And if you keep doing that enough, eventually they're gonna get on board, or they're gonna be like, you know what, I can't do this. You tripping, da, 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 and it might turn into an argument or something. I don't know what it may do, but I feel like I'm thinking in a positive way of it's gonna shape you to say like, let me get up and start walking, or at least let you get up and see me off. So if you take anything from this at the end piece, I'm gonna just go ahead and seal it up. That don't give up, don't quit. When you feeling like that and you feeling discouraged after you've been putting in your best and giving it your all, keep on giving it your all. God is working the rest. Like you do your part and trust and believe God is gonna do His part. But most importantly, most times relationship is communication. And big up to all the fathers out there that's still sticking through it and getting it done and not throwing in the towel and continuing to take one step at a time to get till you make it to the next day. Love y'all. Take care of yourself. And I just wanted to share that. Let me know your thoughts on it.